Okay, guys, so let's talk about the future, okay? The future of pools. Now, a lot of people on my Twitch stream, when I stream almost every day on twitch.tv/Jakazin, they come here and they tell me, Jaka, what should I do? Should I pull this character? Should I pull this character? Because, you know, as most of you know, if you're watching content about the game on YouTube, it means that you're invested in the game. So you know what's happening, and you know who's coming, and or maybe you don't, right? But you know who we have right now in global, and it's Chunyansu, okay? Now, the order of the banner is important, and depending on which character you are interested into, you might want to skip some, okay? Now, from 1.6 to 1.9, which is the current patch that you're looking at it right now, and that it's out in CN at the moment, there are a lot of patches and characters released that are really, really strong, and hence why I decided to make this video and talk about what is happening, how many characters there are, what they do more or less. Obviously, they will have their own guide whenever they come out in global. So more or less, but I'll tell you what they do. Okay, so if you are a free-to-play, this is a very important topic because you need to understand and decide which character to pull, how many copies, and who to skip, who you can afford to skip, and you're gonna face a lot of weird and hard decisions, such as, for example, pulling Chu or pulling Isolde if you have Spatodia, stuff like that, right? So on top of that, if that wasn't hard enough, we are dealing with two limited banners, Chunyansu and Lucy. Now, Lucy is the strongest character in the game at the moment. So, and Chu is a very, very, very powerful mineral DPS that, as most of you know, if you don't know, there is a guide in my channel, is a very powerful unit, especially because she also enables 37. So there are all of these like combos and synergies between characters, and some of you maybe are new, maybe some of you started in 1.4 and you need a mineral DPS because you skipped Calabauna. Maybe some of you are just picked up Spadodia, you're skipping Chu for whatever reason, and now you need to pick up Isolde. Or maybe you picked up Spadodia, you picked up Chu, and now you don't have enough, or you were thinking, what should I do? Okay, so let's begin. First of all, 1.6 is going to be Chu from the start to finish, and at the same time, at a certain point when Phase 2 comes out, so when Ut2 comes out, and the roguelike comes out in global, we will also have Getian. Now, in my opinion, Getian, even though is a powerful unit, it's a powerful debuffer, and it does a little bit of damage, and it's really good for reality characters. Even though he is, and I really like personally his design, I feel like compared to whatever is coming after, all of the character coming in 1.7, 1.8, and 1.9, including the character that most of you might have already, I feel like it's a skippable character. Now, feel free to disagree. This is not the point to make you agree with me. I am saying what I think, and if you disagree in the comment, then you please do so, okay? So I feel like Getian is a character that can be skipped because he will come back. It's not a limited character. You cannot buy him with the free pulls from Chu, from the cassettes. That doesn't work like that. You cannot buy him so from the limited banner. So whatever pulls you are wasting, quote unquote, on Chu banner, those are gone forever. So first of all, as a free-to-play, you should aim for one copy and one copy only. Do not fall for the, yeah, but P2, P3, do not fall for that. You only need one character, one copy. You're free to play. You cannot afford to buy multiple copies, especially on a limited banner, okay? On a true limited banner. Now, this applies for Chu and Lucy, okay? Even though they have P2, P3, wow, okay? Don't do that. Just get one and fuck off. The moment you are done with the banner, just fuck off the banner. Do not pull anymore, okay? Because every pull you go there doesn't transfer to anything. Getian, skip. I feel like unless you really like him, but at that point you wouldn't be watching this video. I feel like Getian is not a good choice, considering who's coming right after 1.6, which is Isolde. Isolde is a very powerful burn application debuffer unit, and she is spirit, so she can fit in pretty much every team that you can think of. Now she works very well with Spatodia, because now you can ditch Ulu, and for people that built Ulu, it is what it is. You wasted mats, but people that were a little more thinking about the future and knew that Isolde was coming, and they didn't mind dealing less damage with Spatodia until Isolde, now they are like pogging the fuck out. So if you pick up Spatodia, if for whatever reason, in any way you picked up Spatodia, now you kind of do want to pick up Isolde, okay? Now, Isolde is the best when it comes to the Spatodia team. If you do not have Spatodia, I feel like you should consider skipping for either Marcus or Vila or Windsong, okay? Which are the characters coming after Isolde. Now, if you decide to pick up Isolde, even though you don't have Spatodia, Isolde can still be used very well. She will still apply burn. No one is there to use burn, but you will still be applying the burn, which does its own damage. She also has a stage of power that you will increase gradually during the combat, and once you have at maximum power, you do have plenty of damage that you dish out thanks to your follow-up attack that you're gonna have, okay? So think about that, plus a lot of debuffs for everybody, okay? So that's really good. Now, the next character after Isolde is Marcus. Now, why would you skip Isolde? You would skip Isolde in case you are a new player or for whatever reason you don't like her, you didn't pick up Jessica, and now you are here stuck with no planned DPS. If you have no planned DPS and you don't want to wait for Jessica to run back, because in CN we might have a different schedule, obviously keep that in mind, but in CN Jessica ran at the same time as Marcus, okay? Marcus is a plant DPS, Jessica is a plant DPS. Now Jessica utilizes the poison, Marcus utilizes Eureka to level up her cards. She really wants to level up her cards, and this could be both a good thing for you or a bad thing for you. It depends on multiple things. If you happen to have 6 and Anali, now you need to, and you don't have Jessica, now Marcus becomes a really powerful choice. Because that way you can easily help Marcus increase her card, and that's where the damage comes from, and that's when she becomes stronger than Jessica, exactly the moment when she can actually level up her cards from level 2 to level 1 to level 2 or to level 3. Now you're dealing more damage than Jessica. If you do not have those characters, you could still function if you pull Vila. Vila is a powerful healer. You could argue that she's not as insane as, or like must pull a tier 0 as Tooth Fairy, because Tooth Fairy also gives you some critical and confusion and cleanse, but Vila gives you a lot of healing for free. She has a special card that doesn't consume any AP, so you can do it for free every turn. The moment you use your ult, you go into the ult stage, it's going to generate this card, and this card gives anybody you want 1 Eureka and 1 Moxie. This can be used to help Marcus achieve her damage if you are lacking the other characters that I told you. So at the same time, if you do have Jessica, you do not need to pick up Marcus, and now we get to the second path, which is you don't pick up Marcus because you have already Jessica. At this point, you don't need Marcus, so you're skipping Marcus, and that's the second step. The first step is, did you skip or did you pull Isolde? If you pulled Isolde and you're free to play, now you need to skip Marcus if you want to get Vila. Personally, Vila is the must pull of the situation, regardless of what your team is, regardless of what your roster is. Having Vila in your team, in your roster, is a must, in my opinion. She is too powerful to skip. Now, all of these characters, thankfully, they're not true limited, so they will eventually come back. So you need to prioritize what do you need on your account, right? If you need another healer, you have a Tooth Fairy in one, maybe Tooth Fairy is going to be locked in one part of the limbo. On the next part of the limbo, you need someone else, right? Do you still want to play your Balloon Party P0? Do you still want to play your whatever healer you have, right? Maybe you have Yenisei, right? Think about it. In my opinion, it's a must pull, but again, those are not true limited character. And if you have Yenisei P5, or you have like Medicine Pocket I3, you have Tooth Fairy, Medicine Pocket, Yenisei, maybe you could technically, you're not picking Marcus, maybe you could technically skip her. In my opinion, it's just a must pull, but again, my opinion doesn't really, it's not really like law, right? So, moving on into the next character, which is the final character in 1.8, because the order is going to be Isolde, Marcus, Vila, Winsong, Lucy. So Isolde, skip or get, depends. Marcus, skip or get, depends. Vila, skip or get, depends. In my opinion, you should use your pulls more on Vila compared to anybody else to get Vila, because on the long term, you will get more value from Vila, because her card giving Moxie and Eureka, and you can even do it on yourself, so you can almost speedrun the next ult. I feel like it's too much value to discard like that. I don't need her. I already have healers, right? We don't know who we're getting, and it looks like we're getting more and more Eureka characters. So I feel like it would be like a really good character to have on your roster. Now moving on into Winsong. Winsong is going to be a extremely powerful star DPS. So if you don't know what she does, go to my channel. There's called a Nuclear Winsong Showcase. Basically, she wants to play very cautiously. You're waiting, you're stacking your cards, and you're hoarding your cards until you have 5 Moxie. Now, this can be sped up by thanks to Vila again, because of Eureka and Moxie. With the Moxie, you speedrun the ult, and with the Eureka, you are getting past a certain threshold. I believe like it's either 3 or 4 Eureka. Winsong will use it to generate more cards, right? So once you have all of her cards laying around in your hand and the ult, you want to do all of the buffs possible, all of the debuffs possible on the enemy and on you, and end up with your ult. This ult is going to automatically use all of the cards that you laid on your hand automatically. She's gonna like destroy everybody. She is extremely powerful when it comes to 1v1, in my opinion. Also, she has almost guaranteed critical strikes, because she gets critical strike, critical rate and damage the more you are playing during the combat. So keep that also in mind. Now, even though she's this powerful, she is by no means a must pull, obviously, because as a free-to-play, you don't really have many pulls that you can spare, right? And so unless you get lucky, of course, you could try here and there all these characters to see if maybe you're lucky. But when it comes to which one is a must pull, I feel like it's just Vila and Lucy, in my opinion. Winsong is right in the middle. So if you pick up Vila, and then you're planning to pick up Lucy, now you shouldn't pull for Winsong, in my opinion, because first of all, you have other characters that can carry you. You're probably going to have somebody for the star team. Maybe you have Lilia, maybe you have Regulus, maybe you have Charlie, maybe you have 37, right? So all of those characters can easily get their job done. You don't have to pick up Winsong. Winsong, I feel like it's more of a luxury, more of a luxury pull for everybody, including little spenders. So I feel like you could skip Winsong and it would be fine. Again, this character will eventually come back, so don't worry about it too much, okay? And now we move on to the final character that I want to cover in this video, which is Lucy. Lucy is the strongest character in the game at the moment. She is extremely powerful. The only downside is that her side tube, sadly, is only good for her. So again, it's free, so you don't have to worry about it too much. But she is a limited character, true limited, which means that all of your pulls and the previous PD won't count going into this banner. Whatever PD you build into this banner will not count on the future banners. The previous true limited won't count on the current true limited. So true PD left won't count for Lucy Petey, right? They're all under their own words, okay? Now, Lucy is extremely strong. Her side tube sadly only works on her, but that is the only downside in my opinion. She is an intellect character, extremely powerful damage. She can automatically level up her cards into a empowered mode, and they remain permanently empowered throughout the rest of the fight. So if you're fighting like a raid, and it takes you like 20, 25, whatever the cap was of the turns, these cards will remain empowered for the rest of the fight, and she can empower everything in her kit. She can empower this card, this attack, she can empower this attack, she can empower an ult, and she can also empower her follow-up attack, right? Because she does have one, and you can trigger multiple, okay? This is her side tube. Sadly only works on her because the active that you're seeing right here, the active is extremely niche, and no one else at the moment is doing what she's doing in terms of functionality. So that's the only downside. Besides that, this character is ridiculously powerful. She is intellect, so she will be able to join any team that you want against any monster that you want. On top of that, she has her insight, and her card makes it so she empowers the Afflatus damage that you are doing. You know, when you have like you are an Afflatus, I am losing my voice. Okay, you know when you are doing an Afflatus advantage, right? Beast and plant, so you deal 30% more damage. Now you're gonna deal 40% more damage. And if you have P2, I believe, now you're dealing 50% more damage, right? And she does also that. She also increases the damage that her Afflatus is doing. So it's a very, very, very powerful character. It's a really no-brainer, especially if you're free to play. You need to pick up this character. She is the craziest mass pull, the most important mass pull in the game at the moment. Even way more than Chu, to be honest. So to recap a little bit, sorry if it took a little bit long, but to recap, I feel like you should pick up Isolde if you have Spadodia. If not, you could skip Getian, skip Marcus, unless you have absolutely no way to cover plant and you're having a bad time. In that case, I would suggest, if you don't have those characters like Annalie and Six, to either get Jessica, or if you really, really dislike Jessica and you want Marcus, then you know what you're going to need in the future, okay, to make her work. You need Six, you need Annalie, or you need Vila. Vila is a mass pull, so pick up Vila. Winsong is skippable as fuck, even though she's strong, but she is skippable. So unless you get lucky early, you do like 4 pulls and you get her for free, sure, Pog. Otherwise, you can just pick her up whenever she comes back. Now, Lucy, mass pull, okay? So let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments. If I forgot some path, let me know, because this is just one take, okay? So let me know what you think in the comments. If you disagree, if you agree, whatever is your choice, whatever is your reasoning for getting X or Y character, okay? When it comes to, sadly, when it comes to reruns, I cannot tell you what are we gonna get, because Global doesn't follow CN. So I think that's it. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.